Welcome back to the Business Book Club.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into a really practical book, John Warrillow's Built to Sell. Turn your business into one you can sell.
Yeah, this one hits home for a lot of entrepreneurs. And Warrillow, he really knows his stuff. He's not just an author. He's started and, importantly, exited 4 companies himself.
Right, he's walked the walk. Didn't he transform his own company, Warrillow & Co., into like a subscription business before selling it?
Exactly. Sold it back in 2008. He turned a typical consultancy into something with recurring revenue, which, as we'll see, is pretty key. He also wrote Drilling for Gold, so he's got form in this area.
And Built to Sell uses a story format, which I always find helpful. It follows this fictional guy, Alex Stapleton.
Right, Alex. He's got this marketing agency, the kind many listeners might recognize, doing a bit of everything, totally dependent on him.
And he hits this wall.
Yeah.
Right. He realizes his business just isn't sellable. Someone basically tells him, you can't sell this thing.
Yeah, Ted Gordon, his mentor in the book, gives him the hard truth. Because Alex is the business. It's a classic owner's trap.
So this book is really for anyone who owns a business and thinks maybe someday they'd like to sell it or retire or just, have the security of knowing it could be sold.
Absolutely. Or even if you don't plan to sell, the process makes the business stronger. And that stat the book mentions is pretty stark, isn't it?
Which one?
That only about, 1 in 100 business owners actually manage to sell their company successfully each year.
Wow, yeah. That's low. It really puts things in perspective.
It does, and that's why the book is so valuable. It tackles the big questions. How do you actually build something sellable? How do you get buyers interested, get a good price, maybe even get cash up front?
And it outlines 8 steps to do that.
That's the core framework, yeah. A step-by-step model based on Alex's journey.
It's got some serious endorsements, too, like Vern Harnish from Gazelle's, John Ganch.
Right. Harnish basically asks, if no one would pay a premium for it, why bother growing it? And Jansch says, without these principles, your business might be worthless to a buyer. Strong stuff.
Okay, so Alex is in this typical owner's trap. His agency, the Stapleton Agency, is all about him. Demanding clients, generalist work.
Second-rate generalists, as the book puts it. He's pulled in every direction. Clients like First National Bank, this guy John Stevens, they rely on him personally.
And that attempt to sell just crashes and burns because, like Ted Gordon says, you can't sell it today.
Exactly. It's that realization. He hasn't built a business. He's built a job he can't easily leave or sell.
The foreword by Bo Burlingham talks about this idea of an option strategy versus just an exit strategy. Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, I like that distinction. It's not just about planning your exit from day one. It's about building the business in such a way that you create options for the future.
Options like selling, or maybe stepping back into a chairman role.
Or just having a company that runs smoothly without you needing to be there 24/7. It's about building systems, building a team, building value that isn't solely tied to you, that gives you choices.
Okay, so the problem is Alex is the business. What's the first big step Ted Gordon guides him towards? The solution.
The absolute cornerstone is identifying what Warrillow calls a standard service offering, or, an SSO.
Standard service offering, so like picking one thing and doing it really well.
Pretty much. It needs to be something valuable, something you can actually teach your team to do consistently, and ideally something clients need regularly. It's about moving away from being the generalist.
How does Alex figure out what his agency's SSO should be?
Well, he looks back. He digs into things like thank you letters from clients. What do they genuinely appreciate? He looks at which projects were actually profitable, not just busy work.
Right, find the sweet spot.
Exactly. And he finds that consistently they did great work on logo design. Clients loved the results. It was profitable. They just didn't have a formal process for it.
So that leads to the 5-step logo design process they create. Visioning, personifying.
Sketching, illustrating, and perfecting. Yeah. The key isn't just doing logo design, it's documenting how they do it, making it teachable, repeatable, scalable.
That documented process is huge for sellability, I imagine. Shows it's not just Alex's magic touch.
Precisely. It proves the system works, not just the individual.
But wasn't Alex worried? Like, specializing in logos meant potentially losing big clients like First National Bank who use them for everything.
Oh, definitely. That fear is real. But Ted pushes back with a couple of key points. First, specializing lets you hire specialists, which actually improves the quality of that one service.
Better quality in your niche. Makes sense.
And second, critically, Ted advises making sure no single client makes up more than, say, 15% of your revenue.
Diversification.
Right.
Reduces risk for a potential buyer.
Hugely. Relying too much on one big client makes the business look fragile. So yeah, there's a risk in narrowing focus, but the argument is it creates a more robust, higher quality, and ultimately sellable business.
So the standard service offering isn't just about focus. It's about building this repeatable system. How does that tie into making revenue more predictable and improving cash flow?
This is where Alex starts thinking less like a service provider and more like a product company almost. The
Yeah.
defined process, the logo design package, becomes the product.
And because it's a defined product.
He can change how he bills for it. Ted advises him to start charging upfront, or at least use progress billing tied to the steps in their process.
That's a big shift from billing after the work's done. Solve cash flow problems, right? Like the ones he had with his accountant, Mary.
Exactly. Getting cash in the door before or during the work creates a positive cash flow cycle. Suddenly, the business isn't constantly chasing payments. And positive cash flow, that's incredibly attractive to buyers. It shows stability.
Okay, so you've got the focus offering, repeatable process, better cash flow. But Alex was still central to bringing in the business, wasn't he? What's the next step?
Building a sales engine that doesn't rely on the owner. This means hiring salespeople.
Right. And the book makes a specific point about who to hire, doesn't it?
Yeah, interestingly, Ted recommends hiring people used to selling products, not necessarily custom services, people like Angie Thacker in the story.
Why product salespeople?
Because they're used to selling something standardized with a clear process and value proposition. They know how to follow a script, hit targets. It fits the standard service offering model better than someone used to crafting completely custom solutions for every client.
That makes sense. And he hires two, right? Angie and Seamus. Why two?
Two is crucial. One, it proves the sales model is scalable. It's not just one superstar making it work. Two, it fosters a bit of healthy competition.
And it shows a potential buyer that you have a system for generating sales that can grow.
Exactly. And you need to track the data. Warrillow emphasizes tracking your conversion rate, how many prospects turn into actual sales. That data proves the market opportunity.
Okay, focus seems key. Standard offering, product salespeople. What about discipline? Saying no.
Huge. Ted really hammers this home. Once you define your standard service offering, you have to stop accepting work outside of it, even if it's tempting revenue.
Even from existing clients.
Even then, saying no reinforces your specialization. It proves you're serious about being the expert in your chosen area.
It's like that analogy Ted uses. The heart surgeon doesn't fix broken ankles.
Exactly. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. Staying focused makes your positioning clearer, and Ted argues it actually leads to more referrals for the thing you actually want to do. People know exactly what you're the best at.
Discipline builds the brand. Okay, what about the team running the operations? Alex can't be involved in everything if it's going to be sellable.
Right. You need a management team that can run the show without you. Alex promotes key people, Angie, Rhina, Chris, into leadership roles.
That demonstrates depth to a buyer. But how do you keep them motivated and make sure they stick around, especially through a potential sale? The book talks about incentives.
Yes, and specifically not just giving away equity, especially early on. Ted advises against it.
Why not equity? Isn't that the obvious way to tie people in?
It seems obvious, but it can get really complicated. Legal agreements, minority shareholder rights. It can actually make selling the business harder down the line.
Okay. So what's the alternative?
Long-term incentive plans. Think bonuses tied to hitting company targets, but they vest over time. So key managers get rewarded for performance and for staying loyal, but without the complexities of equity ownership in a smaller private company.
So they have skin in the game, but it doesn't complicate the ownership structure for a sale.
Precisely. A buyer sees a motivated management team that's incentivized to stay through a transition. That's valuable.
So putting it all together, standard offering, positive cash flow, sales engine, focused discipline, strong management team. These are the ingredients for sellability.
Those are the big ones. Predictable revenue, simple structure, engaged team. That's what makes a business attractive.
And what about valuation? Alex is initially a bit disappointed, right? Like 3-4 times pre-tax profit for a service business.
Yeah, that's often the reality for smaller owner-dependent service firms. But by implementing all these changes, building predictability and scalability, you're fundamentally increasing that value.
And the book mentions creating a compelling future picture, too. A 3-year plan.
Absolutely. You need to show potential buyers, not just where the business is, but where it could go with their resources. Think big, like what could you achieve with a blank check? That future potential drives valuation beyond just the current numbers.
Okay, fast forward. Alex has done the work. The business is transformed. What does the actual sale process look like briefly? Brokers, offers.
Well, for a business of a decent size, maybe over $2 million in sales, using a specialized M&A broker is recommended, like Peggy Moyle's firm in the book. They find strategic buyers, manage the process.
And you want a broker who casts a wide net, not just talks to one potential buyer.
Right, creates competition. Then there are management presentations. You have to tell your team, frame it as an opportunity for them.
And answer that why sell
Yeah.
question carefully.
Yeah, focus on liquidity, partnership for growth, not just I want out. Then comes the letter of intent, or LOI. Exclusivity periods, due diligence, where they dig into everything.
And the offer might change after due diligence.
It often does. Ted advises having a firm walkaway number in mind. Know your minimum. In the end, Alex gets a revised offer, $5.2 million, I think it was.
Which matched his original goal he wrote down, Ron.
Yep, that recipe card goal. So, despite the bumps, the process worked. He built it to sell, and he sold it.
So let's quickly recap those 8 core steps Warrillow lays out.
Okay. 1. Create that standard service offering. Make it valuable, make it teachable.
2. Get that positive cash flow cycle. Charge upfront or use progress billing.
3. Hire a sales team, preferably product-focused people.
4. Stop doing other stuff. Say no to projects outside the standard offering. Focus.
5. Launch a long-term incentive plan for your key managers. Keep them engaged.
6. Find a good broker, an M&A firm if you're big enough.
7. Tell your management team about the potential sale. Frame it positively.
And 8. Convert those offers into a real binding deal. And treat any earnout as just gravy, right? Don't bank on it.
Exactly. And get a good accountant involved early for tax planning. That's crucial, too.
So for everyone listening today, what are the big actionable takeaways? If you own a business, what should you start thinking about now based on this?
I think it boils down to specialize, find your niche, your standard service offering, systemize everything you can so it's not dependent on you.
Build that team. Empower them.
Definitely. Focus on cash flow. It's king. And maybe the biggest thing is realizing that building a business that can be sold makes it a better, stronger, more valuable business today, even if selling isn't on your immediate radar.
It just creates a healthier, more sustainable operation. Gives you those options we talked about earlier.
Precisely. It's about building value, building freedom.
That's powerful stuff. If listeners want to dig deeper or even assess their own business's sellability, where should they look?
John Warrillow's website is the place to start.
Yeah.
www.builttosell.com. There's actually a sellability score quiz there you can take.
Oh, interesting. Get a quick snapshot.
Yeah. And the book also mentions other great resources like the Strategic Coach, the E-Myth, which is a classic.
Norm Brodsky's writing, small business trends, duct tape marketing, lots of good stuff for entrepreneurs.
For sure. Plenty to explore.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a really insightful look into Built to Sell. Thanks for breaking it down.
My pleasure. It's a really important topic.
And for all of you listening, if you found this deep dive helpful and want more actionable insights from top business books, make sure you subscribe to the Business Book Club. We'll be back soon with another one. Now that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. By the way, if you're looking for a detailed breakdown of this book, head over to my other channel, The Weekend Book Club. There, you'll find a book summary video that dives even deeper into the key concepts, plus a free book summary to download. The link is in the show notes below. Don't miss out. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.